Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards, and I'm back and I'm on an MSA mission. So I've been showing some of my MSA cards this weekend. That stands for Michael Schechner and Associates, who did the MSA oddball cards, and that was done for the Players Association, from what I've read up on. But MSA cards are some of my favorite because I'm a big fan of oddball food product issue cards. And this here salesman sample showed you in some of the recent videos. So if you guys don't mind um, checking out some of my most recent videos, like the Burger King cards and um, Jiffy Pop discs and some of my Cracker Jack stuff, which are not MSA. Um, but yeah, I've been doing some of my oddball cards this week, and but right now I'm on my MSA kick. But the key to this video here, as I talked about in my previous video where I showed you the M&M card set from 1987, I talked about the Nestle's cards that you got from candy, like value packs of full-size candy bars like Nestle Crunch. Um, and you would get some cards in there. But in that set, they did. Topps has done Nestle cards in the past, which I'll show you, and then they switched over to MSA, and they're almost identical, except for obviously who manufactured it, and um, we'll get to that. If you guys don't mind, please subscribe, like, leave a comment, share this with other people who might like it. I'm up to 97 subscribers, so somebody subscribed today, but it was not public, so I don't know who they are to shout them out. So just 3 shy of 100 folks, then we can figure out what we're going to do when we reach 100. But anyway, so there's a salesman sample for Mike Schechner and Associates, and I just love MSA cards. Alright, so before we get to the MSA stuff, I'll show you the top stuff just because it comes um, it comes earliest. So now the only one I have from 1984. Now I'm not 100% sure how these were distributed in 84. I do believe you can get them out of Nestle's products, like candy bars is what I'm thinking, unless it was hot chocolate. I don't know. But I do believe you could get some loose cards. But then they also had full, complete sheets. But they could be different sets as well, because the complete sheets was the whole 792 card set. So that's where the only one that I have. Well, I have another one, but it's in my binder, but it's the same card. And so I picked this up in 1984. Hand cut. Nestle number 392, so you can get all 792 cards from Topps. Now this one I didn't pay that much for. I got a better deal than that. But you can check that out if you like. And that is the 1984 Topps Nestle Andre Dawson, hand cut off one of those full sheets. So got a little bit of hiccups. Let me take a drink. Alright folks, sorry about that. Started to get the hiccups and I couldn't talk. So they would come in like sheets, so however many cards would come on a sheet, and then you could get the entire 792 card set. So when I saw this sitting at the local card shop, Stevens Creek Sports Cards, and Santa Clara, San Jose, of course I have to pick that because that's my PC guy, Andre Dawson, my favorite player. And so I picked that up. because it was an oddball Nestle, but this has come from one of those full-size sheets. So that's, I have seen some other loose ones, but they seemed a little different than this, so I'm not 100% sure. Now, now we're going to jump ahead just 3 years, but 3 years for me from 84 to 87 just, well, seems like a lifetime because, you know, you're young, early teenager, and 3 years is a long time. So these, even though they're only in 84, seem so much older to me than the cards in 87 because in 87 I really started collecting a lot, and I had some random 84 stuff like the Ralston Purina cards and stuff like that, and those just seemed like cards I had my whole life, and it had only been like 3 or 4 years. So it's just kind of interesting to me, even looking at this, just an 84 card to an 87 card just seems like a different generation, even though it's like the same players. It's just weird how time flows when you're young, and now 3 years is like, that was just like yesterday, it feels like. Um, so before I move on to those cards, just been watching some videos tonight. We got the Santa Clara card show at the convention center, was today, and then, well, it's technically 1:45 a.m. June 2nd. So on June 1st, Saturday, they had that. I didn't go. Never been to one. It's like $10 to get in. Then they have it tomorrow from like 10 to 5 or something. And it's one of those shows. It's at the Santa Clara Convention Center, which is just right down the street from me. It's like $10 to get in. So I'm thinking of going to that. I've never been to it. I don't know if I want to spend $10, but it's just right down the road. And so then I was watching some videos tonight from like last year's show, and it's like up to 400 tables. And last year's show, it showed there was something like 14 tables. And so I don't know if it's worth going to. And I watched some videos, and it's mostly a lot of slab kind of stuff, basketball, football, and like vintage, you know, 50s, 60s, which isn't my wheelhouse. I'm more pre-war, dead ball era, and like modern in the sense like old style classic baseball cards, Allen and Ginter and those kind of things. So I don't know if they'd have a lot of that stuff there. And it kind of seems like the same group of people that would be at the Silicon Valley card show, which is free at the mall. So we'll see tomorrow how I feel about that. So I was watching some videos. Like if you were into high-end trading, maybe that would be more your show. But it also has people signing, but you got to pay for the autographs. You know, like Joe Montana. I think Bo Jackson's going to be there tomorrow. Jose Canseco. Those would be cool. But the one person who is going to be signing only tomorrow, or today, I should say, Sunday, is Dr. J, Julius Erving. So that would be cool. Not that I'm a basketball collector, but I mean, it's Dr. J. I mean, you know, Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins. I mean, some of the best players of all time, and he's one of them. So that'd be cool, but I wouldn't pay all that just to meet him because, you know, I'm not a Sixers fan, and even though I like him, I wouldn't want to pay to see him. This is probably the only person I'd really pay to go get an autograph for him, but mostly just to meet him. You know, of course, it's scary to meet your favorite player of your whole life because you don't want them to turn out to be a jerk to you or something like that. So they say don't meet your heroes. But I've had pretty good luck on meeting my favorite singers and stuff like that. So, of course, I'd love to meet Andre someday, but he'll never be at a card show here in California. Not up here in Northern California, probably. Him, and then maybe Danica Patrick, because I have something I want her to sign. And I mean, who doesn't want to meet Danica Patrick? I certainly do. The funny thing is my wife's work. She's like on the 5th floor, and on the 1st floor, before we got married, was GoDaddy, and Danica Patrick actually went to my wife's building and was down there out in the lobby and talking with all their GoDaddy people. They just had a small office there, and like thanking them for all their work. And it's like, dag nabbit, why couldn't have I been there? Just a couple miles away. Anyhow, so those are probably the two people I would pay to go see. So I don't know if I'm going to go to that card show tomorrow or not, and so we'll see. I'll do a video if I do. Um, so yeah, if anyone knows about this stuff, let me know. I mean, I know I could look it up, but does anyone out there remember collecting these things? And so for me, picking up oddball stuff is one of my other PC things. So Andre Dawson and oddball, that's like a win-win for me. So I'm going to show you this checklist first, and then I'm going to go back to it when we get to the 88s because it's almost identical. But so I know I'm on an MSA run here, but I'm just going to throw the Nestle's cards together because there's really not enough to do multiple videos, in my opinion. But so just a mere 3 years later, they did another set for Nestle. Now this seems to be a common theme in the 80s and 90s, where a company like Nestle would start off with like Topps, then jump to MSA, and then maybe do their own with some random printer, and then disappear for a couple years and then come back, go with Topps, and then go back to MSA. Or same thing Cracker Jack did. They started with Topps like in 91, 92 they did the Dunross, which is a little cheaper I'm sure than Topps, and then they dumped Dunross and they went with their own printing, and then years later they went back to Topps. So it's kind of interesting how these companies budget something, they get people excited, and then they try to cost cut. So anyways, there's a Nestle all-time Dream Team collector set of the greatest players from the 20th century. So they would call pre-war the golden era, and then modern era would be what most of you guys call vintage. So golden era, modern era. So that's what Nestle and Topps decided. So as you can see, you got Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Jimmy Fox, and of course the great Ty Cobb there. Oh, and I guess I'll mention it that this week, I guess the Negro League stats have been added into the baseball stats and have changed around some of the records, like Ty Cobb not being the all-time batting average leader and all that. And I'm fine with that. My only concern about them doing some of those, like changing all the stats around and shuffling all these people around, is, you hear some of the stories, like when you watch Ken Burns baseball, how some of the Negro League games were either kind of barnstorming things against local teams, possibly, that, I don't know, did they count those numbers? And some of the stuff that they did was very kind of like the Savannah Bananas or the Harlem Globetrotters, kind of the era. Some of these goofy things that they did, like Satchel Paige telling, hey, everyone leave the field, I'm going to strike this guy out. And let's say he didn't strike that guy out and he got a hit, or inside the park home run because they're showboating or something like that. So that's my only concern, is how much of that was pure serious baseball. So, if you're trying to drum up attendance or something like that because you want to see an offensive game like 20 runs, I don't know, are some of these pitches just being lobbed in so that they can put on a show or something like that. That's the only thing I'm saying. I don't know. I never got to see any of that stuff. That would be my only concern, is how serious were all the records, or all the stats, so to speak. But Josh Gibson, spectacular player. Congratulations to him. Showed you guys my a homer a day will increase my pay. Allen and Ginter postcard from 2006. Epic card, my favorite one from the box loaders for that set. And so I have to show that Josh Gibson card again when I get around to it, in honor of the new stats being added into baseball. So I'm fine with it. I just bring that up as, kind of like how we treat the steroid era. How serious do we take Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds records? Me, not so much. They were entertaining. They were fun games. They were great. But, for the most part, people really think of Hank Aaron as the king, or Babe Ruth, and Roger Maris, and now Aaron Judge as the record holders. And, we kind of just asterisks in our head those other things. So, anyway, so that's the front. Here's the part I want you to see. Sorry I rambled on there. But, Nestle, once in a lifetime chance to own the entire collector set of Topps Special Edition cards. All 33 players. Get 2 complete sets, one for trading, one for framing. And only $1.50 plus your name and address, and 3 UPC symbols from any combination of the following. Those candies. And you could order that. Alright, let's see if we can get this focused to work a little better. And as you can see down there, it's 1987 Topps Chewing Gum. So remember that card. We're going to get back to it. So, now, typical, oddball, and Topps. I'm not a fan of, I'm like a 30% fan of Topps oddball cards. I just like the MSA ones because oddball cards should be a little bit off, or a little bit maybe cheaper, in my opinion. I'm not expecting to get a Topps Chrome Black out of a box of Captain Crunch. So getting a kind of a little cheaper card seems fine with me, normal to me. And then when Topps does it and they kind of cheapen their cards down a little bit, it just seems a little weird. It's like sometimes Topps, when they do these oddball cards, they just, it's like damaging their image almost, in a sense. They just seem weird. And when MSA does it, you're like, oh, they're just doing what they can. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of an underdog thing. So the centering issue is not going to be, high priority, I guess. But look at that, the great Lou Gehrig. And I got some other Lou Gehrig stuff I want to show you. But I haven't done it yet because I'm on a little MSA run here. But here's a Topps Henry Louis Gehrig. So you can read that there. That is card number 1. So beautiful. The great Lou Gehrig. Alright. And these are obviously the golden era, as you can read right there. Alright, then next I got a couple of these. Hannes Wagner, golden era. John Peter Wagner. Pause that and read that if you guys like. Alright. Then we got another one. It's nice when you can turn your hand just like that and you get the back. Maybe I gotta adjust this camera just a tad, people. It's a little close Just a little close. A little hard to keep it in frame. Alright. Mickey Cochran. See, like, these are the kind of cards I like. These oddball things. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad looking top set. It's not, and it's actually pretty nice. And like the Rostin Perino ones are really nice. But then sometimes they've just done some stuff that's really weird. And obviously MSA has done some weird stuff too, but it just seems weird to see Topps do something weird. That's all I'm trying to say. So that I prefer MSA oddball cards. But I do like when Topps did those little box sets. Those are pretty good because those cards are usually better quality than like flagship. And I think this is maybe a slightly better stock than your normal flagship, just slightly. Pretty nice cards, and it's right up my alley. It's old style classic baseball card. It's got that old fashioned style because of the old black and white, and that kind of just has an old feel to it, along with the cardboard back. I love cardboard backs instead of shiny backs. Alright, last of the golden era ones that I have is Walter Johnson. So, and these cards are all the ones I picked up myself back then. And now I was buying a bunch of Topps, 87 Topps, and other oddball stuff that came out at the time. So I can only spread my money so far, and this will give you an idea about how many I could pick up. And I think you got like 3 cards per Nestle product that you bought, like those value packs of candy bars or whatever. And now we go to the modern era according to Topps and Nestle. That's a beautiful stem usual. So now they've gone from that old school orange to blue, but stuck with the some of the black and white images. So that's beautiful stem usual card, really well centered. Just spectacular. Got some other stem usual stuff I'd like to show all you folks someday. Just having some focus issues. I think it's because I got too many lights on. So there you go, stem usual fans. There's beautiful 87. Alright, the only other one that I have is the Warren Spahn. I've got his autograph, and on a Leaf Hall of Fame cut signatures card. I believe it's a cut check, cut signature. So Warren Spahn, probably the best left-handed pitcher of all time, or one of the top few. So there you go. You can pause that, read about Warren Spahn. Alright. So there is the Topps ones. So I'm going to put these aside, and now we're going to get to the 88 MSA. So obviously Nestle decided to go maybe a bit cheaper route, so they switched from Topps. As you can see down there, Topps. To 1988 Dream Team. So it's not all-time Dream Team, it's 1988 Dream Team. Collect 44 Nestle baseball player cards. And as we discussed before, a lot of times these insert sets or oddball sets would be 24, 32, or 44 cards, because I think they could do the whole 44 cards on one sheet or maybe 2 sheets and do this entire set when they print. So this is Topps over here, and this is MSA. So obviously just slightly different, but almost identical. Look at everything from the little blast there, ball, just a little change up of the wording, and look at that, so just a different color, you know, once in a lifetime chance to own the entire 88 collector set Nestle Special Edition cards. And this one, once in a lifetime chance to own an entire collector set of Topps Special Edition baseball cards. Now this one's like 2 complete sets. So I'm going to pull that out for a second. Let this focus here. So obviously this is the modern players, like really modern at the time. But as you can see down here, there we go. So MSA, Major League Players Association, and same thing, $1.50. So the cost was the same, and then they tell you where you could get that stuff from. Actually a little easier to read on this, and so that's just kind of funny. You know, they put the Players Association logo down there, and both of them are unlicensed, I believe. That's one thing I didn't pay attention to. Yeah, both unlicensed. So Topps doing unlicensed is another weird thing to me. So there you go. So that's kind of interesting. But they do have a, at least as far as I can tell from what I have, they have a second variation of the checklist. So look, you got my boy Andre Dawson right there, and but this one you could order special autographed baseball of your favorite team of players. So this looks like it says replica. Yep, so it's not even real autographs, I don't think. Alright, to receive the 1988 replica autographed baseball of your favorite team, players send basically $5 plus the UPCs, and send that off. Milford, Connecticut, and this one was to same place. So maybe you're sending it to Nestle. Yeah, there you go. So same address. So apparently you're sending almost the same address, maybe just a different building. So obviously that's going straight to Nestle because Topps and MSA already printed the cards for them. Alright, so you saw that checklist, and if you didn't, well, there's another one. So I don't know if the checklist counted as a card, but you got the National League there and the American League players. And of course my big one was chasing Andre Dawson. Alright, so let's get to it, folks. These are really pretty cards. So they did a pretty nice job. They don't look anything like the top set as far as the design. But here we go. We're going to start off with Dale Murphy. So this is, the focus of my videos is cards, obviously. And I don't do like the in front of the camera videos because I got too many cards to show. And nobody's asked me to be in front of the video, so I'm not opposed to it. But I want to focus more on the cards. But I've been on the front on a few of the early ones. But someday I will turn the camera around. So totally different look. As you can see down there, MSA. They had them printed in Canada, so maybe they saved a little more money doing that. So gives you a little bit of a stat line there. So hang on, I'm going to pause this for a second. Alright, thank you, folks. Wiping off the camera, try to get this focus right. So there you go, Dale Murphy, 2/44. So got a little bit of stats down there. Alright. Next, Gary Gaetti. So Twins, right after they won the World Series. Number 4/44. pause that, take a look at that. Alright, Ozzie Guillen. Alright. John Franco. Relief pitcher for the Reds. Obviously airbrushed. I'll let you read about that. Oh, and I don't know if I just was in the middle of talking about that Santa Clara card show, and I was just watching some videos and came across A League of Her Own, and I guess she's right around this area where I live, has her own channel. So pretty cool stuff. A League of Her Own. I can't remember her first name right yet, but pretty nice stuff. Check her out. She's got a lot of subscribers. Alright, there we go. Don Mattingly for you Yankees fans. Mattingly guys. So beautiful. This is one of the more pretty and high quality MSA sets that they did, in my opinion. These are just beautiful cards. Nice gloss. Pretty stuff. Alright, Pete Incaviglia. I think he was a pretty power hitter at the time. Yep. So yeah, so like 37 home runs. Alright, I'm going to manually adjust this zoom or focus because it's driving me nuts, folks. So that appears to be career stats. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say there's no way you had 57 home runs. Nobody did at that time. Alright, next. Alright, for the Expos, we got Tim Wallach. Pinch hitter. That's funny to be put on a card as a pinch hitter. Alright, Tim Wallach, 23 of 44. I do not have the complete set of either of these. That's why I'm doing them all the Topps and MSAs together. So there you go, Wade Boggs, third baseman, Red Sox, Hall of Famer. It's a Wade Boggs fan. I wonder if he has this card. I'm sure he does. As a super collector, I'm sure he would. So nice. Give Wade Boggs a little extra look for you guys. Alright, so this video is carried on because I carried on a long time talking. So, sorry about that, folks, but these cards deserve their time in the limelight. Just look at how beautiful these cards are. The centering's not great on this, but there's Joe Carter there. Just beautiful oddball cards. Just beautiful product issue cards. Just right up my alley. They're old style, but yet modern. So it's kind of a best of both worlds. Kind of really fancy cards for oddball, if that makes any sense. Oxymoron, I guess. Alright, here we go. Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn for the Padres. Alright. And there's the back. Number 40 of 44. And then Mr. Matt Noakes. I picked all these cards up my own self, folks. It was a hard job that somebody had to eat all that candy. And I suffered. Trust me, I suffered having to eat all that candy. Wasting my money having to get candy because I like oddball cards. If you buy that, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona for you because it was tough. Yeah, it was a nice, it was fun hobby. Gave me something to do, riding my bike around, going to buy this stuff. And so there we go with the Matt Noakes card. And then yet one more checklist. So I don't know if you got a checklist every time you got one of those little packs. So that would make the suggestion that I had bought 4. Alright, so let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I think I got a Dawson, which I'll go look at right now. So 12. Let's see. That means you would have got 3 cards per pack plus a checklist. So that would have meant, in addition to the checklist, you would have got 3 cards per value pack. Alright, let me go look for the Dawson card real quick, folks. Put this back on auto. Hang on a second. Alright, folks, so I looked for the 1988 Nestle's Andre Dawson card, and I can't seem to find it. But when I went through my binder, I did find I do have, so there were 2 versions. In 1984, there was the complete set of Nestle cards, like I said, the sheets. And then they also had the 1984 Nestle Dream Team. As you can see, number 16 there's Andre Dawson. Same kind of thing on the back there. So I did have this card. So that is from the 1984 Nestle Dream Team. So actually I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different cards from those 4 of the sets of Nestle. So that's pretty cool. I didn't realize that this was a set that was of those. What did it say? Nestle 1984 baseball card pictures press sheet, and 24 by 48, 132 card. So I think that here is showing you that you could order these. So this is how you would order these. You would get that Dream Team set like you would. Then you could order any of the uncut giant sheet, which these cards would come out, especially printed with Nestle on it. But the actual Nestle cards that you got in the product was the 22 card set, which this is one of those. So apparently that's what happened in 1984 with these Nestle cards. So that's sweet. That's in my binder. I cannot find what I did. I pulled all my old Andre Dawsons, and it's funny, I have a little plastic box full of them. That must have been doubles that I didn't put in the binder, or I didn't have enough sheets. So I'm gonna have to go through that, and I think I got some cards that can go back into my binder now. Some more Andre Dawson stuff, so that's cool. So I'm gonna set that aside real quick. Hold on. All right, folks. Thanks. So since I don't have it in front of me, I will show you that in the 88 Dream Team, you could have got that complete sheet right there of cards. And that's what the Andre Dawson card looks like. So maybe I don't have it. I could have swore I do, just based on the number of cards I have. Loose. It feels like there's one missing, just based on the numbers. So what we're going to do is Just going to show you these on the images really quick because I'm fairly certain I have that card. I just don't have it right in front of me. So I just figured I'd show you those really quick. Or maybe it's a little better, clearer back. I want to read about it. What it does say on the back of the Dawson MSA there. So there you go, folks. So that is my MSA and Topps Nestle Cards. But since I'm mostly doing this little run right now to do MSA, we're gonna go out showing you an MSA card, and that'll be the Don Mattingly. Beautiful Michael Schenkter and Associates. So another video. Sorry it took so long. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Get us 3 more subscribers, we'll be at 100. Alright everybody, thanks for watching Old Style Classics Baseball Cards MSA Special Weekend. Alright, bye.